Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. Hey, baby, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good. I'm excited. I'm going to be visiting with Richard Lustig today. He's a guy that has won the grand prize from the lottery 7 times. Only person in the world that's ever done that.
That's cool.
And he's going to give us a couple little tips and tricks on what we could do to win the lottery. So I'm excited to chat with him. He's actually written a book on how to win the lottery, how to increase your chances of winning the lottery. Hey, there's a radio station in Japan that has kind of an interesting format. Their format there is the human heart. It's just the human heartbeat thumping 24 hours a day. And people say they tune in because it helps them relax.
Well, so I was just going to say, I bet it's really soothing.
But
it's just white noise is all that it is.
do they have commercials? I'm trying to figure out how they make money
Probably
doing
not.
that. I'm like, what in the world?
Yeah, I don't know.
So it's just the human heartbeat 24 hours a day. That's in Japan. In Australia, a scientist claims that they've invented a real thinking cap that can actually improve your thinking skills and increase your IQ if you're wearing it. So got all that going for you. So you've ever heard of somebody saying,
Put
I
on
put on
your
my
thinking
thinking cap? Well, now they have one. We'll tell you what's going on special today in a bit. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
Well, I thought you'd never ask. It's Wednesday, July the 27th. Today, sadly, is Barbie in a Blender Day.
Oh,
That's not a good idea.
I loved Barbies.
When you were a kid, did your brother break your Barbies?
No.
No?
I would have broken his legs.
Yeah, I guess he's your little brother. I was a big brother, and I have another brother, 2 of them, that were big brothers, and we gave our sisters Barbies haircuts. That was a bad idea.
I would have been so mad.
That does not grow back. So anyway, today is Barbie in a Blender Day. I'm not going to celebrate that. It's also National Korean War Veterans Day. That's really cool.
My grandfather was a Korean War veteran.
Armistice Day today. And here's some interesting things. You've been seeing people out doing silly stuff while they're looking for Pokemon. Well, today is a day to do all kinds of silly stuff. It's Walk on Stilts Day. So if you see somebody walking on stilts, they're celebrating. And it's Take Your Houseplant for a Walk Day. What?
Alrighty.
So if you see people walking around with houseplants while they're on stilts, they're celebrating today. Either that or it was just one amazing coincidence. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Whether you're an experienced shooter or someone new to self-defense, Front Sight Firearms Training Institute has a course for you. You may recognize Front Sight from their reality TV show filmed at this private range 45 minutes west of Las Vegas. A Diamond Lifetime membership is $15,000, but we have a special price of just $3,000 available now only at radiosavings.com. This lifetime membership allows you to take over 50 courses as often as you'd like at Front Sight Firearms Training Institute. Get this deal right now at radiosavings.com.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. I remember back in the day, we used to watch this show called The X-Files. Remember that?
I do.
It's been, I don't know how long it's been. It's been off the air for a long time.
I wouldn't say I loved that show.
No, it was just, there was something about it that it was kind of the big thing at the time, and everybody was watching this, and so then I got hooked on it. I think maybe David Duchovny should move to Great Britain because now, according to the Ministry of Defense, the number of UFO sightings in their country rose by 40% last year.
Oh.
They could send Scully and what was the other guy's name? It was Scully and Mulder. Yeah, boy, it has been a while, hasn't it? Send him over there to the Great Britain to check things out. There were over 135 reports of UFO sightings, up from 97 sightings the year before. One report says that a camper lost his dog when it was abducted by an alien ship in Cardiff, England. Another report claims that there was a sighting of 2-mile-wide objects over Guernsey, or I think that's how you say it, England. Another witness...
There's just one sighting? I mean, nobody else in that town saw that?
No, there were several sightings, but it happened one time. So it was a sighting by many people, but it was a 2-mile-wide object over the town.
And nobody called it?
Yeah.
Authorities? Did the cops see it? Did anybody of
How do you think it got in this story?
It just sounds like... I mean, I would think there would be major documentation if a whole bunch of reliable people saw something 2 miles wide over the top of a city. It would have been on the news and everything.
Well, maybe it was. We don't watch the news in Guernsey, England.
It would have been worldwide. There's a giant
Rotherham-
2-mile ship over the top of a city.
Rotherham, England claims seeing a bright triangular object in the sky, which was stationary at first, then took off. This is all from BBC News, so this is not from some, tabloid newspaper. BBC News, those people
Right, but they're
pretty
saying
serious.
there was a report. So, like, some wackadoo who was sitting at home.
Oh, I love it when you connect with our audience by calling people wackadoos.
I'm just saying, I want to know how many people saw this and if
Okay.
it's even worthy of talking about on the radio.
I'll let you check into that. All I know is it's true because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
And this is your brain on drugs. I'm already going to state the obvious by saying drinking and driving is dumb. You know that.
Absolutely.
And playing with matches is dumb.
Absolutely.
Well, what if you're doing both? Police in upstate
my
New York
gosh.
accused student Christopher Chayanes of going through a lot of trouble to avoid a DUI court date. He's in a lot more trouble now. He's charged with torching a new municipal office in Seneca Falls that housed the court.
Oh, boy.
He set fire to the building just hours before he was to answer for a felony charge of driving while intoxicated. Now he faces charges of third-degree arson and ordered and held on $200,000 bail. If convicted, he could go to prison now for 15 years.
Oh, man.
So it was a
Kid.
dumb idea to drink and drive, but it's even dumber to play with matches and light the courthouse on fire. What was he thinking?
He wasn't, clearly.
Clearly, no. You think that they're going to go, well, place burned down. I guess everybody's scot-free. You guys just get to leave. No, they wouldn't have done that anyway. So what a knucklehead. All right, coming up, we've got somebody else that's being a knucklehead. We've got a silly story from the Yukon coming up.
John and Heidi.
I'm glad that once in a while we get to send our moment of duh to another country, and today it's going to head to Canada. Yukon, Canada. White Horse, Yukon, Canada, to be quite specific. A man there tried to get away with paying no taxes, and he was fined $3,000 by the Canadian government. Cliff Hanna attempted to persuade a judge that he was a free man who owes the government nothing. In a sworn affidavit, he declared that the name James Clifford Hanna was put on my birth certificate many years ago without my permission. He disclaimed responsibility for debts and obligations to their government, assigning that name is not my name. I didn't choose that name. There's no record anywhere that I ever accepted that name. As far as I'm concerned, the name James Clifford Hanna is hearsay. Well, the judge didn't buy it. He said,
No.
You still owe. And now you
Nice
have a
try, though. I mean, you got to give him an A
fine.
for effort.
I just watched a video of some girl who was claiming to be a free inhabitant. And she was saying she
I've
doesn't
seen
have to
lots of
obey.
videos like that.
She got pulled over, and she said she didn't have to obey the laws of our planet. I was like, what in the world is... I watched the video. It actually upset me because the officer was being so nice and so kind. And I was like, at this point, I would have stuck a taser up her nostrils because she was being so mean and so awful. And again, hats off to that officer. Their job is hard enough already, but when you have people that are doing that, it makes it even harder. So don't be a knucklehead. Coming up, we've got your scoop of the day. That's on the way.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now your scoop of the day. This may be the dumbest story I've ever read on this program.
Oh, boy, that's saying a lot.
It is. A teacher in Britain has quit her job to become a full-time Pokemon Go player.
Oh, my God.
What in the world? 26-year-old Sophia Pedraz plans to cash in on the craze by pounding the streets to collect the virtual characters and then sell her accounts on eBay. Okay, I hope you understand that this is not going to be popular forever.
No, this is not a career path.
No. We have friends that were cashing in on the whole Beanie Baby thing back in the day. They didn't get to quit their jobs, and now they have a lot of Beanie Babies that are not worth a lot of money.
And I don't understand why anybody would want to buy someone else's. Isn't the whole point to play the game?
I think so.
I don't
know.
understand. First of all, I don't get what
know.
it is
Hey,
anyway.
we're
So I
just
probably
sounding old
shouldn't
and out
even
of
be.
touch. Let's not go down that road. Yeah, Pokemon Go.
No,
it's-
we're just
it's
too smart to
cool.
not play the stupid game.
There are people out there listening right now that are so mad at us. They're like, I like that game.
Well,
Brit-
just don't quit your day job.
There you
There's
go.
some advice for you.
She
for
went
free.
to school to become a teacher.
That
she
is ridiculous.
She was shaping the minds of the next generation, and
Well,
now
that
she's doing
explains
this.
a lot. If those
Yeah.
are the people in charge right
Well,
now, that explains where our current
She
generation
was in England. And speaking of England, a British study reports that 8 out of 10 adults are so addicted to their phones that they don't even get off their phone while they're having nookie. I mean, during the act of, whoa, that is just nuts. I can't even imagine. How could anybody be in the mood to be with somebody if they were saying, okay, yeah, go ahead, I got to tweet some stuff while you're doing that. What? Are you kidding me? I don't know. Maybe again, we sound like we're out of touch by talking. Again, we should try that tonight. Who knows?
No.
You don't think so? Okay. She's my wife. Otherwise, I wouldn't have asked. Hey, shoppers are still using more paper coupons. Retailers are making their own coupons, and even manufacturer coupons are being made available through mobile apps to make things easier. Well, customers, for some reason, still prefer to clip and carry around a bunch of paper. For every one online coupon redeemed, guess how many paper ones are redeemed?
How many?
48. Yeah, so for every online coupon, 48 paper coupons are coming through the door. In upstate New York...
Well, and you know why? I still get nervous if I have an online coupon.
Yeah.
Because I'm afraid, okay, what if it gets deleted by the time I get to the cash register, or what if I get there and I can't find where I had saved it, or if it just disappears, or if they can't figure out how to scan it. I don't like to use them.
You know how many online coupons I've used?
None.
0. You know how many regular coupons I've used? Maybe
0.
2. No, I think I've used
I prefer to have something in my hand. Even if I download an online coupon, I print it and take it with me.
Now I know. Hey, in upstate New York, a trooper tried to pull a guy over, but the guy took off driving up to 90 miles an hour at one point, going the wrong way on the freeway. After jumping out of his car, he was caught by police. The trooper was stopping the guy because the car had an expired inspection sticker. The guy said he was on his way to get the car inspected when the trooper pulled him over. And he added, I don't know what makes me do stupid things. That's what the guy said. That's literally a quote.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't know what makes me do stupid things.
I'm going to try that next time I get pulled over.
So what'd you do that for? I don't know what makes me do stupid things. North Carolina couple is in a little bit of trouble after they allegedly attacked each other with pizza rolls. What the heck?
Pizza rolls?
Yeah, they got a pizza roll fight, and cops had to come. So that is quite the pizza roll
Must
fight.
have been.
Things got out of hand, Heidi.
Yeah.
If you wash your hands in public restrooms, or if you brush your teeth, or if you wear antiperspirant, you've come in contact with a thing called triclosan, an antibacterial used in many personal care products. According to Time magazine, mounting evidence has linked triclosan to bacteria resistance, hormone disruption, and possibly even liver cancer.
Ooh.
That's not good. Let's maybe get rid of that stuff.
Whoa.
This is kind of crazy. All right, thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. This has been your Scoop of the Day.
John and Heidi.
This has been quite an election so far, and we've got a long ways to go. Stay informed at politicalstorm.com. It's a cool site with political news and information on the campaigns, plus a place to chime in and have a say in what you think. If you're into politics, you need to check out politicalstorm.com. Get informed from several different sources all in one place. Listen to podcasts like mine and learn about current election topics, read fun editorials, and engage your brain. It's your country. It's your vote. It's your voice. Politicalstorm.com. That's politicalstorm.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. We got a guest joining us right now. We've talked to him a couple of times before. Richard Lustig literally wrote the book on how to win the lottery. He's won it, the jackpot, 7 times, and we've got him on the line right now. How are you doing, Richard?
Well, obviously I'm doing pretty good.
Now, what is the official name of your book, sir?
The title is Learn How to Increase Your Chances of Winning the Lottery.
That is awesome, and it's a really neat book. Like I said, we've talked about that in the past, and I wanted to connect with you. And I was kind of hoping we could have talked to you when that jackpot was huge. But the good news is, I know you get really busy when that jackpot goes up. Your phone rings off the hook, doesn't it?
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, I can't say I don't enjoy it because I do. But yeah, whenever a jackpot really gets high, next thing I know, I've got all the major networks calling me, and eventually one of the shows says, look, we'll pick up the tab. We want to fly you up here to New York or fly you out here to California. We want you on the show live. I mean, I've been on Good Morning America, I don't know, half a dozen times, the Fox and Friends, Rachel Ray Show, MSNBC. I was recently on 2020. And then also they brought back the old show from the 50s and 60s, To Tell the Truth.
Yeah.
They've brought it back, and I was on the premiere episode of the first season of the bringing the show back. It aired on Tuesday, June 14th, I think it was.
That's
and
awesome.
so I was on the very first show of the new To Tell the Truth.
That's awesome. I was flipping through the channels one day, and I think it was Fox News. There was Richard Lustig. I'm like, well, there's Richard. I've talked to him on the phone before, so it's kind of fun. And now this Mega Millions that we just had a couple weeks ago was a pretty big jackpot, but that wasn't a record. When was the record set for the biggest jackpot ever?
Yeah, the one a few weeks back was Mega Millions, and it went just over $500 million. It was like 540 million, I think. And yet that wasn't even the record breaker. That was about the third or fourth highest jackpot in history. The highest one was this year, back in January, where Powerball got up to $1.6 billion jackpot. Wow. $1.6 billion as a jackpot. Can you imagine winning that kind of money?
That is absolutely crazy. And now when they had that win, was that a single winner or was it a lottery pool that won that? Do you remember?
I think it was 3 different winning tickets that won.
And it's really cool when the jackpot goes up, people tend to buy more tickets. More people buy tickets and each person buys more tickets. But even if it's just the minimum, that's a pretty good amount of money to win, isn't it?
It's funny you say that, John, because that's something that always amazes me. You know, as I talk to people all the time, and I get these people who say, well, you know, I don't really buy tickets unless it gets up to like, you know, 300 or 400 million. It's like, what, $40 million isn't enough for you? I don't get the philosophy behind that, John. I mean, if someone wins the jackpot, Powerball goes back to the beginning. It starts at $40 million. I would love to win $40 million every week. Wouldn't bother me at all.
Yeah. That'd be okay. I think I would find a way to make it work if it was just, you know, quote unquote, only $40 million.
Yeah, and even Mega Millions. When someone wins, it goes to the beginning. The beginning of Mega Millions is $15 million. That's a lot of money.
Yes, it is.
$15 million. So these people who only come out of the woodworks to play when it's really high up there, you know, I just don't get it. And then they wonder why they lose. Well, because they lose because they're not playing properly, and one of the worst things in the world that most people do, and I talk about this all the time, is they buy quick picks. And you should never, ever buy quick picks. Because when you buy quick pick, and for your listeners who are listening and don't know what a quick pick is, that's when you give the clerk the money and you say, give me a couple tickets for tonight's game. You know, the computer picks your numbers for you.
Yeah.
So every time you buy a quick pick, you're getting a completely different set of numbers. So your odds are always at their worst. For instance, Powerball, the odds of winning are 1 in like 292 million or something like that, and that's Powerball, and Mega Millions is like 250 million or something. So your odds are always at their worst. So if you pick your own numbers and you play them consistently, you will have a better chance of winning. Now, people say to me, well, the lottery people say that more people have won the jackpot who bought a quick pick than those who play their own numbers. Yes, that is a correct statement. They are right. But what they don't tell you is millions and millions and millions of more people have lost buying quick picks than those who play their own numbers.
Yeah, very true. Again, visiting right now with Richard Lustig. And Richard, you won the grand prize jackpot 7 times, is that correct?
Yes, I've won 7 lottery game grand prizes. I'm the only person in the world that has done that. This is very legit. This is not a scam or a joke or anything. All my wins are registered with the Florida State Lottery. And that's just the grand prizes. I've won not only 7 lottery game grand prizes, but I've won hundreds of thousands of dollars in smaller prizes.
And now when you started working on the book, because you've got a book where you kind of teach people this, but when you started working on that, how many had you won at the beginning of when you started working on the book?
I didn't start working on the book until I had won 6. And actually, it wasn't even my idea. I got to give the credit to my son, Nick. After 6 lottery game grand prizes, after the 5th one, people were starting to hound me. They'd see me at the post office. They'd see me at the grocery store. I'd become kind of a local celebrity. And, so the question that I kept getting all the time, what's your secret? What's your secret, So I finally, just for the heck of it, I typed up kind of a short little 9-10 page report of what I was doing to help me win. And I would carry a half a dozen copies with me. So now when people would say to me, what's your secret? I'd say, well, I have it right here in a report. If you'd like to know my secret, I'll sell it to you for $30. And I really didn't expect anybody to buy it, to be honest with you.
That's
but
awesome.
I couldn't believe it. They would snatch them up like crazy. It got to a point where we developed a website, and we were getting so many orders for this 9-10 page report that I had to have a printer print them up for me, hundreds of copies at a time, because I was at first just printing them off my computer printer, like 4 or 5 copies,
Yeah.
So when I won number 6, my son said to me, Dad, you're missing the boat. And I said, what do you mean, Nick? He says, you need to write a book.
Yeah.
And I go, write a book? I'm not an author. I can't write a book, And he says, I'm telling you, look how fast these reports are going. He says, if you wrote a book, it would be phenomenal, So he was right. I wrote the book. The day before that my publisher was going to take the book to the printer to have the first set of copies run. The night before, I won number 7.
Nice.
Now, on the front cover of the book, it said, written by Richard Lustig, 6-time lottery game grand prize winner. So I called my publisher first thing that morning. I said, did you take the book to the printer yet? And he said, no, we're getting ready to in a few minutes. I said, well, hold off a minute. He said, why? Did you change your mind? I said, no. I said, you aren't going to believe this. I said, last night I won number 7. He said, you're kidding me. So we decided to just cross out the word 6 instead of replace it. Put an X to the word 6, you can still see it, and then write above it 7, and that's how we printed the book. And now, here we are today, that book is a 2-time number 1 bestseller.
That's awesome. That's really, really cool. And I think that, just the fact that it happened the way that it did makes that story even more fun. Lucky number 7 came, minutes before the books were to be printed. I think that is really, really cool.
Yeah, it's been so exciting. I've had a lot of fun with it, and of course I've made a lot of money with it. But yeah, and so what I've done now is I'm still playing, and I still win, and I'm waiting for win number 8. Every time I've won a grand prize, I kept saying, when I won number 4, I said I'll win number 5, and I did. When I won number 5, I said I'll win number 6, and I did, and so forth. I truly believe I'll win number 8. It's just a matter of when. I don't know when it'll be and what game it'll be, but I know I'll win 8. But until then, what I've been doing for about the last year now is I've gone on a campaign to teach people how to play. It's not that people are stupid. It's they don't know how to play the game. If you're at some friend's house with a bunch of friends, and all of a sudden everybody says, hey, let's play Monopoly, and you've never played Monopoly before, you have no idea how this game is played, what would you do?
Well, you'd hopefully figure out how to play, or at least ask somebody that has played before how to play.
There you go. You ask somebody who knows how to play, what do I do to play this game? And that's what I'm trying to do now, is teach people how to play the lottery, so, like the title of the book says, so they can learn how to increase their chances of winning the lottery. And that's what I'm doing. I'm teaching people. I go around the country. I do speaking engagements. I do telephone one-on-one coaching calls. Whenever I do interviews, I talk about some key points of my method that they should know. And I have on my website, which is winninglotterymethod.com, on my website, I have a page of testimonials. These are real testimonials from real people. It's not just a bunch of garbage that I made up to sell my books. These are people who have bought my method, followed it and have won and are winning more money than they've ever won before in their lives playing the lottery.
That's really cool. Again, the website, winninglotterymethod.com. And I remember after one of the last interviews that we did, we talked maybe, 6 months ago, 9 months ago. I was on that website, and I saw something on there that was fascinating to me, Lotto-licious. I was like, what in the world is this? And I sent you a message and said, tell me about this Lotto-licious thing. What is this? Now, let's talk about this to the listeners. What is this Lotto-licious thing?
Okay, so there are many, many parts of my method that will help people increase their chances of winning. Obviously, if they follow the full method exactly as I teach them, they're going to have the greatest chance of increasing their chances. One of the things that I talk about is lottery pools. People ask me, should you join a lottery pool or not? Yes, you should join a lottery pool. In anything in life, numbers is there's a saying, in numbers there's strength or something like that. I forgot how the saying goes. But,
strength in numbers, yeah.
Strength in numbers, there you go. So it's common sense that a person who buys 100 tickets is going to have a better chance of winning than a person who only buys 10 tickets. So, by joining a lottery pool, and let's say you got 10 people each buying 10 tickets, now you got 100 tickets you're involved with winning, where before by yourself you only would have had 10. Now, of course, the first thing they say is, well, then you got to split the pie with 10 other people or 9 other people or whatever. I say, hey, a piece of the pie is better than no pie at all. So, anyway, so I warn people, yes, definitely join a lottery pool. It makes a lot of sense because you're buying with volume. But there are a lot of lottery pools out there that are run improperly. They're done wrong, and that's why they don't win, okay? Or they're not fair. So I even have a report that I sell on my website that teaches people what they should know about lottery pools. So this was going on, and I'm preaching to people about joining lottery pools, and I get calls from lottery pools asking me to endorse their lottery pool, and I would check them out, and they were running it wrong and this and that. Until one day I heard from these guys in California, and they had a lottery pool that they had just started a few months earlier called Lotto-licious. And so I did the same thing. I asked them questions. I went to their website and checked it out, and everything that they were doing was right. And I was amazed at how well organized this lottery pool was and how fair it was. And so I said, yes, I will endorse your lottery pool. And since I endorsed their lottery pool, their membership has just gone up tenfold. It's just amazing. But what's so cool about this lottery pool is you don't do anything. All you do is there's a monthly administration fee of $8 a month, big deal. And if you pay the year in advance, you pay only $80, so you're really getting 2 months free. Okay, so that's good. And then you decide how many tickets you want to buy. Now, as an example, one of the questions I would always ask these lottery pool people is, well, how many tickets can a person buy in a drawing in your lottery pool? And they would say, well, as many as they want. Well, as soon as they said that, I wasn't interested. Because that shows me that they didn't care if that person was spending more money than they can afford to spend. They just wanted to get their piece of the administration fee or whatever. And see, I preach budget all the time to people. People get caught up in lottery fever. And I tell them, don't spend grocery money. Don't spend rent money. Figure out what you can afford to spend and stay in your budget. So when I asked these guys, well, how many tickets can a person buy in a drawing? They say, we only allow people to buy up to 5 tickets in any game. And I said, oh, really? I said, and why is that? And they said, because we don't want people to spend more money than they can afford to spend. This way, we keep them from doing that. And I said, that was the exact answer I was looking for. I said, yes, I will endorse your lottery pool. So that's what's good about Lotto-licious. You can join, you can play either Mega Millions or Powerball, or you can play both. You can buy as little as 1 ticket, or you can buy up to 5 tickets for each game. They do all the work. Another thing that a lot of lottery pools make a mistake is they collect the money each week from everybody. And what do? They take the money, they go down to the local store, and they buy 100 quick picks. Oh my gosh, that is so dumb. that is just the worst thing to do. These guys, Lottolicious, you submit your set of numbers you want them to play for you. If you're buying more than one ticket, you submit more than one set of numbers. And then whatever your set of numbers are, you will get your own little home page on the Lottolicious website. And you'll be able to see your set of numbers, what you chose, and that's what they play for you. They play your set of numbers every draw in that game, or in both games if you're playing both. So they keep track of your ticket numbers. They buy the tickets. You get an email report from them every week or after every drawing showing you if you won something or not or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And let me tell you right now, I've been with them now, I don't know, 6 months or so, whatever it's been. Since I joined Lottolicious, I have won something, even though most of them have been very small amounts, but I've won something every single Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday of every single week since I joined. And Tuesdays and Fridays are Mega Millions, and Wednesdays and Saturdays are Powerball. And I've won something in every draw.
Nice. You can't ask for much more than that, can you?
Nope. To me, it's a perfect lottery pool. If you're going to get involved in one, that's the one I recommend you get involved in.
Again, Lottolicious is the name of that, and we actually have a membership on there, and I set up a simple website for people to go to so they didn't have to try to figure out how to spell anything. So we just set up radiolottopool.com, and that's our little page. And as you were talking about, everybody gets a page like that. So once you join, if you say, hey, I want my mom and my cousins and my friends and my sisters to be in this with me, it's really simple. It's really easy to share, and you just send out a link, and people can sign up and join. And it's been a whole lot of fun to watch it grow. And I know we've got listeners that are on there. We've got friends that are on there, and we're in your lotto pool, I believe, aren't we, Richard?
Yeah. You're as you join, you have to be sponsored by somebody. So John, you've been sponsored by me, so you're under my name, and all the people that join your lotto pool will be in your, they call it a universe, that's what they call it. So they'll be in your universe, which automatically puts them in my universe. So my universe is the largest universe on Lottolicious right now. And it will stay that way because of my, and I don't mean to sound arrogant here at all or egotistical, but because of my name, it's pretty powerful in the lottery world. So many people join under my name. So by joining your lottery pool, what is it called again?
Radio Lotto Pool. I tried to make it pretty easy. RadioLottoPool.com.
So if those who are listening to the show, if they join RadioLottoPool.com, they will be in John's lottery pool, in your lottery pool, your universe, and then they'll automatically be in my universe. So now, when anybody in my universe wins, I automatically get a piece of that. And then 5 people in my universe will get a piece of that, which will include all your people. So there's so many ways to win with Lottolicious. It's just, like I said, in my opinion, it's the best lottery pool out there.
That's really cool. Well, Richard, I really appreciate you taking some time to chat with us, and we're going to send folks out to find your book. Where do they go if they'd like to just find a direct link to find that and make it really easy for them?
The best way to buy my book is to go right to my website, which is winninglotterymethod.com.
Again, winninglotterymethod.com. Our guest today has been Richard Lustig. Richard, thank you again.
John, it's always a pleasure being on your show, and I can't wait till we do an interview after I've won number 8.
That sounds great. I hope it's soon. That would be fantastic. Again, Richard Lustig.
Too.
And he's won the grand prize 7 times, and that'd be awesome to see number 8. And I hope that you do it through the Radio Lotto Pool, so I get a piece of it too. Does that sound pretty selfish, man?
That would not be fun. Wouldn't that be fun?
All right. Again, Richard Lustig. Thank you, folks, for listening on a Wednesday on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Do you buy lottery tickets? Maybe you wait till the jackpot is big, then you buy one. I was like that too. Like my odds got better because the jackpot was more. Well, I think I found something that actually will give me a better chance to win. It's called Lotto-licious. I learned about this from Richard Lustig. He literally wrote the book on how to win the lottery, and he should know. He's a 7-time lottery game grand prize winner. Richard plays and endorses Lotto-licious, and I just signed up too. I'd love it if you join Richard and I. You can play Powerball and Mega Millions without even going to the store. Sign up right now at RadioLottoPool.com.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
A flea expert is called a paleocologist.
Ha!
I don't know why they call him that. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Do you know what M&M's stand for?
Mars and...
Murray. Mars and Murray. It's the last names of the candy makers, and it's Murrie. I wonder why there was a Mars bar but never a Murray bar. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Dudley Do-Right's horse's name was Horse.
That's clever.
On Sesame Street, Bert's goldfish were named Lyle and Talbot, probably after the actor Lyle Talbot. And our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Samuel Clemens, more widely known as Mark Twain, smoked 40 cigars a day for the last years of his life.
Whoa.
Might have lived to be more than 12 if he hadn't done that. So, no, I'm just kidding. He didn't. He was way older than 12. But 40 cigars a day. You go through and do the math on that.
That's an expensive habit.
And he had to be smoking all the time. I mean, how would you even fit that in? Only 24 hours in a day.
He must not have been smoking premium cigars.
And if you think, even if he only slept, let's say he slept 4 hours a day, that's still 2 cigars an hour.
That's crazy.
And he probably slept more than that, so it's probably closer to like 4 cigars an hour during the time he was awake. Maybe he smoked while he was sleeping. I don't know. Anyway, these have been a couple of fun facts for you on a Wednesday.
Whether you're an experienced shooter or someone new to self-defense, Front Sight Firearms Training Institute has a course for you. You may recognize Front Sight from their reality TV show filmed at this private range 45 minutes west of Las Vegas. A Diamond lifetime membership is $15,000, but we have a special price of just $3,000 available now only at radiosavings.com. This lifetime membership allows you to take over 50 courses as often as you'd like at Front Sight Firearms Training Institute. Get this deal right now at radiosavings.com.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. One of the things that instantly makes me feel like a kid is eating a box of cereal. Well, maybe not the whole box, but a bowl of cereal. Do you feel like a kid when you pour a big old bowl of cereal and you just, snuggle up and watch some TV?
If I'm watching cartoons.
Well, I don't even need to be watching. I could be watching the news and I'll feel like a kid again. But have you noticed that there are fewer snaps and crackles and pops these days? The cereal boxes that you buy are getting smaller and smaller, and the bags inside filled with cereal are less and less full. Last June, Kellogg slimmed down their cereal boxes. Fruit Loops, Cocoa Krispies, Corn Pops, Apple Jacks, and Honey Smacks all decreased by about 2.4 ounces. Meanwhile, Unilever recently shrank bottles of Hellmann's Real Mayonnaise, Breyer's Ice Cream, and Skippy among their items. And the bag that holds potato chips may not be shrinking, but what's inside certainly is. Consumers are noticing 75% of those surveyed by Consumer Reports in July said they noticed the packages are shrinking, and 71% believe the main reason for downsizing was to hide price hikes from consumers. Half of those surveyed said they'd prefer the manufacturer keep the old package and just raise the price. Unfortunately, many manufacturers are shrinking the contents and raising the price.
Yeah.
So they're saying, okay, well, this one's a little smaller, but it's also a little more money. So
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy when you think about that. But that would be a tough industry to be
Oreos
in.
was somewhat smart. At least they made a whole marketing campaign
Yeah.
out of the fact that we're going to give you fewer cookies. We're going to make them super thin. We're going to charge you more money for them, and it's a good thing.
They're like,
So just buy these.
These are so much healthier for you. Because you're a glutton, really. And you're going to eat them all, so eat all of far less for far more. Okay. You got me, Oreo. All right. Coming up, we're going to talk about maybe getting somebody famous to come to your next event. And how much would that cost? Some interesting people and what they charge for appearance fees. That's on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
Hey, this is Tim from Hope and Faith Machine Works. Are you having one of these days?
How in the world am I going to do that?
Or even,
if I could just have this, my life would be so much easier.
Well, this kind of stuff is my specialty. At Hope and Faith Machine Works, we work with anyone who needs something built, fabricated, or just done right. We've done medical, industrial, PLC, and prototype designs. You can reach us at yourhopeourfaith.com. That's yourhopeourfaith.com.
I remember watching a comedian one time. He was talking about when he died. He said, I want to put some money aside to hire like a B-list celebrity to come and like an actor to come and cry really hard at my funeral. So people would be like, how does he know John Stamos? And I always thought that was such a funny, I don't remember who the comedian was, but I just thought
Nick
that
Swardson.
Was it? I just thought it was such a funny observation that and a very funny premise. Well, if you were to say, I want to get somebody to come to my event, how much do you suppose it costs to get some of these celebrities? Do you think it's really expensive?
It depends on who we're talking about.
Odds are you can't afford some of these, but there's some that maybe you could. A few of the stars and what they charge. Now, this list may be a little bit dated, but here's what we have. If you want to get Howie Mandel, well, we'll end with him. We'll end with Howie Mandel.
I love Howie.
We'll start on the bottom of the list. The cheapest is Bob Eubanks, at least the cheapest on this list, $10,000.
Holy cow.
Yeah, Bob Eubanks will come and do a personal appearance for $10,000.
Who the heck is Bob Eubanks?
He was a game show dude for many years.
Why would you want Bob Eubanks to come to an event?
Maybe you're going to have him come be the game show host at your Christmas
party. Oh, that
is
ridiculous.
LeVar Burton, $30,000.
Who's LeVar Burton?
He was on Star Trek. What?
How much does he want?
LeVar Burton, $30,000.
What's he going to do for that?
I don't know.
Strip and jump out of a cake?
No. Louis Anderson, $44,000. He's a comedian, by the way, just so you know.
I do know who Louis Anderson
Suzanne
is.
Summers, $62,000.
What?
Yeah, and Howie Mandel, $70,000 to have Howie Mandel come to your party. And this is what they charge to come and like give a speech or do something. Personal appearance fees. By the way, you can get John and Heidi for a 6-pack. So
and a package of beef jerky.
The 6-pack is for her. The beef jerky is for me. And that is not our official price, just so you know.
You know who I would invite if I was going to have a party? Who I would invite just because it would be so entertaining just to have this person walking around.
Who's that?
Christopher Walken.
That would be fun.
That would be awesome. He wouldn't have to do anything. Just have conversations with people and people would laugh.
Can you sit by the punch bowl? All right, coming up, we've got some more interesting things to chat about. That's on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Have you ever thought about changing your name for any reason?
No.
Well, a 5-year-old boy decided it was time to change his name because it was too long for him to write down. Joseph Michael William Duncan Williams decided that he had enough. He came home from school crying, and he said, with a name like this, you get a cramp in your hand before you get your book report written. His mother, Gail, took out a newspaper ad to announce the name change and simply Joseph William Duncan. Now the little boy is writing his name all over the place. Instead of Joseph Michael William Duncan Williamson, now it's Joseph William Duncan. So there you go. They got rid of a couple.
You can change a name just by taking out a newspaper ad.
Apparently, I don't know. I think he should just go by Joe. I'm going to just go by Joe.
J.W. Duncan.
JWD. There you go. Coming up, going to talk about
I will say when I was a kid, I wished I could change my last name.
Yeah, your maiden name
maiden name is Braunschweig.
Yeah, that's a long name. I just had somebody send me a message through Facebook talking about your brother, and they said, I don't know if I spelled his last name right. And I said, I don't know either. Look, I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know how to say it. I don't know how to spell it. You think I'm some kind of genius? All right. Coming up, we're going to talk about being robbed while you're in your own house. This is a crazy story. It's on the way.
John and Heidi.
This has been quite an election so far, and we've got a long ways to go. Stay informed at politicalstorm.com. It's a cool site with political news and information on the campaigns, plus a place to chime in and have a say in what you think. If you're into politics, you need to check out politicalstorm.com. Get informed from several different sources all in one place. Listen to podcasts like mine and learn about current election topics, read fun editorials, and engage your brain. It's your country. It's your vote. It's your voice. Politicalstorm.com. That's politicalstorm.com.
John and Heidi.
Listen to this bizarre story. Being robbed in your home while fast asleep is one thing, but being carjacked while sleeping at the wheel, now that's a totally bizarre story. A Seattle man is doing well after sleeping through a carjacking.
Whoa.
Yeah, he slept right through the carjacking. Police say 4 men forced 4 people out of their Honda Passport and went for a joyride. But what they didn't realize,
there was another guy in the back.
There was a 5th person sleeping in the far back. When they discovered him, the carjackers apparently panicked, and the Honda ran into a parked car, and the guys inside jumped out and took off. They were able to catch up with one of the suspects. The other 3 are still on the loose. Nobody was injured, even the dude sleeping in the far back.
Funny.
How crazy is that? So this dude was sleeping right through a carjacking. That's nuts. Coming up here in a bit, we've got some good news. That is on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always try to wrap things up around here with some good news. Now, I'm not going to try to make anybody feel bad by reading this story, but I do think it is good news. It says a new study has found that women who wait until marriage to have sex are less likely to later get divorced than women who have premarital sex. The study also found that only 3% of women, however, wait until marriage to have sex. They found that women married since the year 2000 who had 2 sexual partners prior to marriage, surprisingly, were just as likely to get divorced as women who had 10 or more sexual partners before marriage. According to the report, the main reason is that women chose abstinence. The reason that they chose abstinence, rather, the main reason was for religious reasons. So it is something that I would say right now, if I were young and single today, I would be afraid because of all the things that you're reading in the news and all the stuff that's out there. I'm like, I just
But you know what? Remember when we were kids and AIDS was rampant?
I know.
And that didn't stop.
I know, but I think it's worse today. I don't know. I don't know how. I just want to say this. I'm very proud of the people that I know. I know many young people, some that are doing this for religious reasons, but others just because they're saying, I'm going to wait till it's time.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to point anybody out in particular, but several. You know exactly one of them that I'm talking about. And I'm very, very proud of that person for making that choice on their own.
It's a moral decision. I mean, you choose that on your own, and that's
and again, like I said, I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad, and I'll even say I didn't wait till I was married.
I didn't either, but I wish I would have.
I do too. I really wish I would have, because looking back, I'm like, what was my rush to grow up? You know, it was this big rush to get to. I just want, I don't know. I wish I would have just been a kid a little bit longer, because, and that's a sad thing. I see so many young like in middle school that are like adults now.
And they're dressing like adults.
You don't understand what you're missing out on. Someday you're going to look back and say, I sure wish I could look back at my childhood, but I don't remember a childhood. That would be just sad. So,
okay.
All right.
We
That's
better get off
going to do for our good news.
High horse.
Yeah.
Here.
I've got a link to this story if you want to read more about this, or if you want to share it with somebody and tell them how proud of them you are. You can do that. It's on our Facebook page, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday.